Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's have a look at some of the individual stocks on the move today here in Europe. I'm Caroline Hepke and I'm joined by Bloomberg reporter Chloe Millay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's start with metals and Fresnillo moving today. Tell us more.
Yeah, Fresnillo is coming down this morning. It is in the red because silver prices are also coming down quite sharply. So in January, we had seen silver prices jumping to record after record, but it has been a lot more volatile this month in February, and that has been driven by a risk-off market environment, driven by a lot of profit taking as well after this massive rally at the beginning of the year, and then also some expectations around rate cuts that have driven commodities down as well. And so Fresnillo shares do tend to move in tandem with precious metal prices, and given the massive rally that we saw in gold, for example, we saw shares really jump massively at the start of the year. Now we have this weakness in silver, and that is, of course, then translating in some weakness in the share price for Fresnillo. The earnings for that company are actually coming soon in just a couple of weeks, so we'll see how that has affected everything. But it's expected that those really massive swings in prices won't affect the bottom line itself too much, and that cash generation margins should be in pretty good shape. So we'll see how the earnings are actually doing when we get that in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, the euphoria that we saw in January around silver markets is really fading now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the AI trade, I mean, it's a story that we are just so focused on. In terms of how it's affecting shares in RELX, this is a company we've been tracking because of its potential exposure to AI.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of that AI disruption trade that has been really dominating the narrative over the last couple of weeks, we're seeing that easing off a little bit. Today, seeing some reversal, at least for some names. So RELX, Pearson, as well, Experian were in the green actually this morning after seeing quite a big sell-off in the last couple of weeks. And Bank of America analysts said that last week actually that some of the derating for RELX, in particular around those AI fears, was quite overdone. Said that it was a top stock for this year and that it still had really great competitive advantage. So perhaps we are seeing investors calm down a little bit on this AI sell-off, though it still is very much top of mind. And perhaps instead of just kind of dumping shares in everything, trying to figure out which of these software stocks or information and analytics stocks will actually come out on top and which will actually really struggle. Not all software stocks are created equal, and now it's time for investors to do the digging on where the sell-off is overdone and where it's justified. And it seems that in this, in trying to figure this out, RELX has been determined to be more of an AI winner despite all that sell-off that we've seen recently.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. So the AI story has not been written yet, really, has it?
No.
InterContinental Hotels have released results today. How are investors reacting to IHG?
Really well. It's because there has been a big buyback. So we have a $950 million buyback, and then also earnings that came in slightly ahead of expectations. And the company is quite confident for the year ahead, sees a rebound in demand across those different markets, including the markets that have struggled a little bit more recently, like China and Europe. It has been really bullish on the US for a while, saying that there's been quite a lot of resilience in the economy in the US that has been really supporting business travel, for example. And for 2026, the US will still be a really big part of that strategy. Some of the premium offering will also be a big part of the strategy. I actually just spoke to the CFO right before coming on now, and he said that there's been a little bit of weakness with the shutdown late last year in the US, but that there has been a real pickup since then, and that things like the World Cup, for example, later this year will be a real big boost, really beneficial for the company. He also said that he was really encouraged by what he's seeing in China with demand really picking up. And so we've seen the shares moving higher this morning and driving also other hotel operators higher, like Whitbread and Accor were also higher this morning. So it's been an industry with, quite a lot of weakness in over 2025. There has been, of course, quite low consumer confidence that's affected that. But it seems that, at least for IHG, things are really turning around.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.